We can get on to masking scents now if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think this is one of the deep dark rabbit holes right here.
Okay. First thing, again, is the kinetic molecular theory. Bonding takes place at the atomic and not the molecular level. If you have somebody marketing something that says it'll bond with the molecules and cover them up, you need to ask some questions because theoretically that's not possible. Uh, and I made the point of this in the presentation. I'll do it again. That said, a lot of guys have used various and sundry products on the market and seen things happen that shouldn't have. We've seen it. Damn, that works. It's not supposed to, but it does. It doesn't happen all the time, but we've all seen instances. So what I tell guys, if you're using a given product and you're thinking it's working for you, keep using it. You got nothing to lose, basically. If you're right and I'm wrong, you're ahead. So, but when I was digging through this information on the net, if you used all the products in the world that are supposed to mask your scent, you still won't get it done. It's not possible unless you quit breathing, literally. You have a whole lot of scent comes out of your mouth. And I got a kick out of even a little quote from Mossy Oak. They said, you might be able to reduce your scent, but you're not going to eliminate it. So that was mirrored by a number of other manufacturers. So you have that. I always tell folks, whatever you're using, if you like it, keep using it. But the big thing is the same thing you've always heard, stay downwind. Just make it a point to stay downwind. One other thing that's on the market is ozone generator, portable ozone generators. Now, if you know how ozone works, do you?
I don't.
I don't have a clue.
Ozone is O3, it's high school chemistry. It has 3 atoms of oxygen. That's unstable as a gas. So one of those atoms breaks off to create oxygen. That atom that broke off is a free radical, and it will attach itself to another compound that has oxygen in it. Because, like I said, it can bond at the atomic level. So it will do that, and when it does, what it does is changes the scent signature of whatever compound that was. The example I use, which is a simple one, water is H2O, okay? If it gets in the presence of ozone and attaches to it, it becomes H2O2, which is hydrogen peroxide. So you haven't really masked the odor, you changed it. So there is some merit to the ozone. You got to know open air ozone like deer hunters use. The odds of it glomming onto all of your molecules and changing them is pretty low. But it will mitigate some of it. And it does have applications elsewhere on things we're not going to talk about.
So therefore, it can make you smell not as strong or further away than you actually are.
Yeah, it'll make you smell like something else besides you.
Okay.
Okay? We don't know what. You could smell like an orange Slurpee. I don't know. But you don't smell like you anymore.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's the important part. You don't smell like a human.
So that's what a lot of people bring up is they're maybe not trying to eliminate their scent completely, but they are trying
mitigate
to
it, yeah,
just make it seem like either they were there, a while ago and they're not there right now, or they're further away than they actually are.
Right.
So you're saying there actually could be some validity to that.
There could be. We don't know. It doesn't make scientific sense, but we've all seen examples. All of us, And the guys that I, found in my research, these are guys, deer hunters, you would recognize their names. And almost all of them use everything that they have available to them to mitigate their scent. And they're believers in that Yeah, 10 to 70% of the time, it does, they think. There's no reason not to do it. If that's what you like and it seems to be working, go ahead. Said scientifically, it doesn't make any sense, but so I've seen stuff happen. So
So correct me if I'm wrong, but does it change your scent identity to where maybe it doesn't hit that alarm factor for them as that recognizable human smell that they associate with danger?
no, because you are a smell that's unique. Like I said, and your smell is unique. So what they're going to smell is a human, and they're going to smell whatever spray you use or whatever soaps you use. They smell all of these things because these molecules haven't bonded. However, if you got to know if you're throwing enough at them, that maybe it will ameliorate the human part of that scent. Mm-hmm. We don't know, and it has not been proven. So you go with what you know, is what I can tell you. And we already touched on if you want to scramble a deer's olfactory senses completely, like I said, what happens is the nasal epithelium swells to where it closes off the OSNs, and the deer doesn't smell anything.
Let me ask, because you gave the example about that specifically with chlorine bleach. Does that do the same thing for us? Like
it can.
Okay, because I've not been around bleach a whole bunch. I've heard something about like burning the inside of your nostrils, of course, from it, but like just like breathing in those fumes. But
yeah, it can. Some of those really hot odors. The thing that springs to mind instantly, if you've ever worked with cadavers, you go in, take Vicks Vapor rub it under here, because then it gets into your nose, and all of a sudden your nose is running because that has happened, but you're not smelling that cadaver. So, yeah, it would apply to us.
Next time I'm around cadavers, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, next time you happen to be doing it. Well, I was in the canine and work with cadaver dogs and pieces and parts, and it happens. So, let's see if we have anything else here. Well, we already covered that. The stuff that you can do is whatever you think is best, basically. As I said, these guys that are doing everything report effectiveness rates between 10 and 70%. They are believers. Let them believe. If it's working for you, what can you say that? I don't know who that was that did the presentation today. The last one on hunting deer in the big woods.
Stuart Keene.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he had mentioned some of this stuff, and you can't argue with success. The kid has done great on public land whitetails. I mean, really great. So whatever he's doing, I'm listening.
Well, and it goes back to also something that I think is worth talking about. It's and you're kind of mentioning this without directly mentioning it. It's almost not even worth arguing with somebody about scent control or scent elimination. If they feel confident in it, they feel like they're having success. Let them keep doing it.
Yeah, why not? Because confident is the word. If you're not confident, it's like one of the other presenters was saying, if he goes into an area and he's not interested in a matter of a couple hours, he leaves because he doesn't have any confidence in that area. Same with your scent, same with your clothing, same with your gun or your bow. If you're not confident with it, you're not going to do well.
I want to look at this after we've kind of ran through the presentation that you use with your seminar. I'm interested in getting your personal perspective of this. Being in this industry, I guess you could say, with narcotics dogs and canines for so long, now doing more and more research and trying to expand upon potentially, like, in the whitetail scheme of things, what's being done, what's the capabilities and everything. What is your take after being a part of some of this research, doing this for so long? What is your thoughts on a lot of this? Like, are you
on the whitetail end of things?
Yes, sir.
I hate to sound like a grumpy old man, but stay downwind. That's it. Stay downwind if you're hunting. If you're still hunting, approach from downwind. I was talking to somebody. I've never killed a deer from a stand. I've done it on my hind legs, but I learned real early when you're going ninja like through the woods. I don't even look downwind. You don't need to. They're not going to be there, but you keep it in your favor and you work into it. I've had a number of instances where, boy, I'd really like to hunt over there. I get there and the wind isn't with me. Too bad, so sad. I'm hunting over there. Just really that simple as far as I'm concerned. You keep the wind with you.
This might be a little hot button topic, but I want to get your personal take on this. Again, we're talking about, if someone's using something that they're, confident in, let them keep using it. What is your thoughts on some of the marketing that some of these, brands in maybe the past 10 years? Because I'm sure you've seen different marketing, whether you watched Outdoor Channel or anything like that, or maybe
sure.
not. What is your thoughts on some of the, not even results, but really, I guess you could say the marketing ploys behind some of these brands?
Marketing tactics.
Yeah.
Personally, really, I think some of them are sleazy. Some are not. I'm not naming any names. But there was one years and years ago. They were taken to court and they lost. And that was Scent Lock Clothing. And when that stuff came out, we in Canine, we jumped on that. That's supposed to just cover everything. So we put dope in a jacket, tied it all up, put it in a building, have a dog search it. He went through it like it's not there. Okay, I'm not a believer, so. And it found out nobody else was a believer either. But past that, there's a whole lot on the market that, I'm not too crazy about it. Like, I'll just stay downwind. Smell like hell, but I'll stay downwind. That is all.
Well, this is part of the reason why I want to have this conversation, is kind of educate just the general public as well. It's one of those things, don't believe everything you hear. Some people might not agree with our conversation here for whatever reason, but when it comes to marketing, if you feel confident using it, do it.
Yeah.
But again, also when you start looking at the science, like you mentioned earlier, like when it comes to the science, none of it really necessarily makes sense, correct?
Most of it doesn't make sense. But I will say again, we've all seen instances where it appears to have worked, including myself, the big skeptic. So you can't poo-poo it completely. It's like you said, it's what you're confident in.
Has there been any testing? I want to kind of get back to ozone. Has there been any testing with canines in ozone when it comes to like changing those odors, or it makes it harder for a canine?
Yes, there has, and it's not going to be something we discuss on the net.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. I'll just put it this way: the narcotics people, it's not a concern. They're not motivated enough to go to that trouble. But yeah, there's been testing done by governmental agencies you would recognize, and we're not going to put it out there.
Yeah. Also, do you know of any health implications of ozone when it comes to humans?
I don't know, but I've heard it's not good for you.
That's what I've heard too.
An open air thing like an ozone generator when you're in your deer stand, I don't think that's going to hurt you. But if you lock yourself in a room with it, with a real ozone generator, you could be in big trouble.
I bring that up because I told this story last night because of this conversation brought up, because I knew we were going to get you on the podcast. I had used something like that in the past in a pop-up blind. This is probably 10 years ago. Facing into the pop-up blind, had some windows open, but trying to, see if it would help with us in the situation we were hunting. And probably within about 20 minutes, started just getting this massive headache. And I ended up turning it off because I'm like, first off, it wasn't comfortable being in the blind with it on. But also, I'm like, that doesn't seem like it's going to be something healthy, just in a closed setting where there's not great ventilation specifically.
And that should logically be one of your first symptoms of this isn't going well. It's a headache. So, yeah. That being said, though, if you're going to use one in a pop-up blind, that's using it the right way, pointed inside. So it's worked on the molecules that it can get inside before they get outside. So that part was right, but yeah, getting a headache from it's not right.
Yeah. And so also to kind of reiterate on part of this conversation, most of the scent that's coming off of you is, again, it's coming out of your breath, off your body if you're sweating, stuff like that. How much of a factor is clothing for, again, putting scent out there in the environment?
Depends on what it's been exposed to. It's still the overwhelming part of the whole signature is going to be your human scent, unless you've really doused the clothing in something horrible, or exposed it to a lot of smoke or whatever. But yeah, clothing. There's been studies done for canine on transfer scent from clothing. If it comes out stinky, you put it on the ground. How long until it's no longer stinky? But that doesn't matter because you're wearing it. But the scents, the soaps, the detergents and stuff you use on it, not that big a deal.
I wanted to ask about something that we had a conversation about on the ride over here. You were talking about how it used to be just the gospel that your scent molecules. I might not quite have this right, but I'm in the ballpark. It's essentially like your dead skin cells shedding off of you.
Yeah, it's different than molecules.
So can you walk me through that? How that's kind of almost been debunked?
Yeah, those are called skin rafts, which is epidermal cells that you shed at the rate of 500,000 a day. And in canine, search and rescue, in some places to this day, that's taught as the gospel as far as what the dogs are actually tracking on a human track. Our research shows that from the time you shed that cell, 0.3 seconds, it gets attacked by bacterial, VOCs. And by the end of 10.3 minutes, it's gone. It's been consumed. It literally ceases to exist. So it is not a part of your scent signature on a track, unless you have a really quick response time.
Okay, so
Okay.
then what is your scent then? So it's not the skin cell. So what would the dog actually be tracking?
The dog's actually tracking the VOCs coming off of you. Like I said, your breath, eccrine and apocrine, sweat glands. Trying to think of what other sources of emanation. Your fingerprints. Your fingerprints are oily, and I have a cute little video of an evidence search, which is conducted by a dog keying solely on that. You can take and my dog's trained for that. You can take anything. Take that glass, take a key. I could take a quarter, or you could take it, throw it out in the field. She will find it because of that scent came off your fingers. And they're trained for any human scent, not just mine or yours. But if anything has been touched by a human, they'll find it.